The Premier League season is coming to an end pretty quickly, to be fair. Time's going really quick. Match day 31, let's predict it. Welcome back to the woodwork. Hello everybody, it's Mason here. Welcome back to the channel. Today brings you the preview of Premier League match day 31. So we're going through tomorrow, Sunday, and the sole game on Monday night. Starting with Goodison Park, Arsenal taking on Everton. Now, I think the title race is pretty much done, don't you think? I think Liverpool, haven't they gone back to 12 points clear? I'm pretty sure they have. Yeah, so an Arsenal win will take them back to 9 points clear against Everton. And I think this has got a draw written all over it. I just don't think Arsenal are going to go to Goodison Park and get all 3 points. You know, Everton under David Moyes, even though they don't have a lot to play for, they have impressed since his appointment. And I think it is going to finish Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Next up, we go to Portman Road in Ipswich's biggest game of the season so far. I don't think there's any doubt with that one. They're at home to Wolves, 18th against 17th, but the gap is not small. 9 points separate Ipswich and Wolves. Ipswich come into this on the back of quite an impressive 2-1 win at Bournemouth, but Wolves, unfortunately, did win at home to West Ham on Tuesday night as well. So, you know, both of these coming into it on the back of wins, and I think Ipswich will give this a good go. But I think Wolves do have the overall better quality with Strand Larsen, you know, in form at the minute. And, you know, I think Matheus Cunha, I don't know what's happening with him. Is he coming back? Let me know. But I think that Wolves will edge this 2-1. Ipswich 1, Wolves 2, put the relegation fight beyond any sort of doubt, really. Next up, we go to the M23 derby, and there's a reason why it kicks off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Crystal Palace against Brighton at Selhurst Park. It's been a game that we've been waiting for quite a while, but I think it's being overshadowed by the fact that we are in an FA Cup semi-final, which is obviously huge, going to Wembley on the 26th of April. So yeah, that'll be massive for my own channel, and that just reminds me, my link will be in the description for my channel. Go and watch my own stuff, Palace Fan Mason, if you'd like, alongside the vlog for tomorrow. I expect it to be a good game. But anyway, Crystal Palace were disappointed in their last game, drawing away at Southampton. Even though they have had a good record lately, Palace, the draw, it wasn't good. The performance wasn't good, in my opinion. But Brighton did lose 3-0 against Aston Villa at home. So, you know, both of these coming off the back of quite disappointing results. And I think Crystal Palace will have the edge on this one. Just taking the passion to Selhurst Park against probably their biggest Premier League rivals. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 2, Brighton 1. Next up, we go to the London Stadium with pretty much nothing to fight for anymore. West Ham against Andoni Iraola's Bournemouth, who, you know, it was disappointing for them with their European fight. 1 point out of their possible 15 they could have picked up in their last 5 games. Obviously losing to Ipswich, as I mentioned before. And I think this is going to continue here with them getting a disappointing 0-0 draw. I just think West Ham don't have a lot to play for, but I just don't think Bournemouth will find that breakthrough. So I'm going to go West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0. Next up, we go to Villa Park in probably one of the biggest games of the weekend, to be honest with you, with Aston Villa taking on Nottingham Forest. Obviously, George will be interested to see what I predict for this one. Now, when it comes to Aston Villa, it was a brilliant win against Brighton in their last game, 3-0. There, and you know, they're in the quarter-final with the Champions League, semi-final with the FA Cup. What a season it's turning out to be for Aston Villa. But for Forest, you can sort of say the same. 3rd in the Premier League. They're going to try and just cement their place in that top 4, and I think that they're going to get the share of the points, and I think it's going to be a bit of a goal fest. Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 2. I don't think either side are going to really grasp this game and take advantage. So 2-2. Next, we go to Sunday's games, and we go for quite a lacklustre game, I think it's going to be, between Spurs and Southampton. Southampton still currently are the worst Premier League team in history, with 10 points out of their first 30 games, getting a point against Crystal Palace in their last game. And to be fair, as a Palace fan watching that game, Southampton weren't awful. I wouldn't have thought they were the worst side in the world, but they were definitely there for the taking. And even though yesterday with Tottenham's loss at Chelsea, and obviously Postecoglou, getting rattled with the cup in the ear thing, even though he's denying it, and the fans against him now. I still think Tottenham will have enough to get past Southampton at home. I'd be very worried if they didn't. And I'm going to go for Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. I think it's going to be quite a calm, chilled game, to be honest, with not a lot of things to talk about here. I think Tottenham will just routinely win. Not so much of a routine game at the G-Tech Stadium in West London against potential West London rivals Chelsea. Brentford against Chelsea on Sunday. Now, I just don't think that Chelsea will win here. I want them to keep Brentford down there, to hope Palace will go a bit further up in the Premier League table. But I just think that Chelsea, even though they did get their win against Tottenham and it will be a massive morale boost for them, I just think that Brentford will be a bit much for them. And I think, again, it's going to be another share of the points in a 1-1 draw. I just think Chelsea haven't looked the best in recent games, and Brentford haven't been too bad under Thomas Frank, their last game defeat to Newcastle. But obviously Newcastle are going into that in a party mood after winning the Carabao Cup. So, you know, I wouldn't judge it too much off of that. But I think they're sort of slight hope for Europe with Brentford. I think they have to get something out of this game, and I think they will. 1-1. Next up, we go to Craven Cottage, Fulham against Liverpool. Now, Fulham, FA Cup quarter-final exit to Crystal Palace, 3-0. Very disappointing from a Fulham perspective, if you like. Do they have much to fight for in the Premier League? I suppose they do. You know, with Bournemouth, Brentford and Palace below them, they have the advantage over those clubs for a potential European spot for Fulham. But I think it's too far gone for them as well. I just think that Liverpool will go to Craven Cottage and get a routine win. If Arsenal do end up beating Everton tomorrow at 12:30, then they will end up 9 points in front again, and they'll want to keep that deficit at double figures. So I think that Liverpool will win this game by 3-1. I think Fulham will find the net, but Liverpool will be too much for them. And the other game on Sunday is the Manchester derby, Manchester United against Manchester City. Note how I said that Aston Villa Forest is probably going to be the best game of the week. I just don't see much in this game. Manchester United have looked woeful. Another defeat on Tuesday at the hands of Nottingham Forest this time. And I think Manchester City have not looked great. They did win against Leicester on Wednesday. A little bit of a boost for them to try and get top 4. At least Manchester City are still fighting for something. You know, they're still in the FA Cup in the semi-finals taking on Nottingham Forest, and they're still within the top 4 race. Manchester United, look, they've got the Europa League the following Thursday against, who is it? I think they're playing, isn't it, Lyon? So obviously they're going to want to get something out of that game. And will they take much notice of the Manc derby? They'll try, but I think Man City will be ultimately too much. And I'm going to go Manchester United 1, Manchester City 3. And then we look at Monday night. Leicester City taking on Newcastle. Newcastle flying high, aiming for the top 4, aiming for Europe. And I think they will be one of the sides that will get Europe this season. On the other hand, Leicester, they look down and out, haven't scored in months. And I don't think they will cause Newcastle many problems. And I think once Newcastle get that opening goal, the floodgates will open on Monday night. And that's why I'm going for Leicester City 0, Newcastle 4. I think it will be a bit of a thrashing for Leicester. And my question for Leicester, again, why isn't Van Nistelrooy still in the job? I don't understand that. But I think Leicester are too far gone to stay up in the Premier League. Even though they're on the same point as Ipswich, Ipswich still have that slight chance if they were to beat Wolves. But Leicester, I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do much more this season. Anyway, that is the end of the predictions for game week 31. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, the link to my own videos, Palace Man Mason, will be in the description. Like, share, subscribe to The Woodwork, and I will see you guys very soon.